Hey sewing friends, so I hope you had a really good week sewing because I didn't. But I'm very low on battery, so I'm just going to kind of zip through the makes that I have and then show you some fabrics that I bought to kind of get me in the mood for spring. So fail number one, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about it. And these are my Vogue pants V1993. The big fail on this was the zipper. I was really happy with the fit, and I was getting ready to wear these. I was going to put the waistband or the facing on the waistband, hem them up, and I was going to wear them to work. So I got my facing on, and as I'm, moving it around to the front, the zipper, I had to shorten the zipper. Now the zipper that I had was just this metal zipper that was in my stash, so I had to shorten the zipper by removing some teeth and then adding a zipper stop at the top, which I did. And then apparently I didn't do a very good job because when I zipped them up, the zipper pull came off. Now actually it first just came off of one side, and I kept trying to put it back together, trying at the top, at the bottom to try and somehow get the zipper together and get my zipper pulled back on. And as I was fiddling with it, it came off of the other side, and I'm done. I'm done. I'm sure there is a way to get that back on, but I am not in the right frame of mind to give it a go. I think what I'm going to do is just unpick the zipper, take it off, put on a nylon zipper, something that I can shorten at the bottom rather than have to remove teeth and shorten it at the top, and then get back to this because, I was real excited about the fit. It wasn't perfect, but it was the most perfect I've gotten so far. And so I want to keep trying with this pattern. I want to try a different fabric that's maybe more suited to the summer, because this is actually a bottom weight wool twill, and and it's black, it's dark. So I'm going to set this aside. And when I am in the right frame of mind, I will undo that zipper, put in a new zipper, fix the facing, around the waistband, get it hemmed, and they will be a very nice pair of pants. Probably I won't be wearing them until next fall, but that's okay. That's okay. It'll give me a chance to marinate on it. I'll make another pair, maybe two, who knows, adjusting the pattern so that when it comes time to fixing those, I will have more of a reference and hopefully can get a really nice job completed on those. But for right now, I'm just not in the right frame of mind to get those done. Second one that is a fail, and it's totally my fault, is the Liesl & Co. Geneva blouse. Now I'd made this first out of kind of a chambray, and at first I didn't like it because I thought it was too heavy, too thick, that it was more of a shirt, and I was looking for a blouse. Well, when I look at the fabric suggestions for this pattern, let me read it to you. I've done this before. They are talking about medium weight woven fabrics, including quilting cotton, lawn, shirting, poplin, broadcloth, denim, and linen and flannel. What did I choose? I chose a drapey silk crepe de chine because I wanted a blouse. Okay, let me show it to you. And I am so tired of this blouse that I can't stand it. I can't stand you. That's from, Seinfeld, Costanza. I can't stand you. Well, I can't stand this blouse. I can't stand this fabric anymore. I'm done. I'm completely done. Part of the problem is that with a crepe de chine, I found this with a crepe de chine as well as a silk charmeuse, is that it doesn't fold and press really tight and neat. It always wants to kind of, I don't want to say it's spongy, but it does kind of want to come up. And with this, you need to do a quarter turn for the neckband and then a quarter turn again and then top stitch around it. And I tried doing that, here you can see. Now, one is a understitch, but the other one is the top stitch. So I don't know if you could see how that is 2 quarter turns turned under. And what happens is that you you fold it over, and then you fold it over again, but the fabric wants to keep coming out. And so even though I'm trying to hold it, and I got my clapper, so I got the iron to make a nice press on it, and I put my clapper on it, but it still wanted to keep, excuse me, something in my eye, still kept wanting to slip out. So oh gosh, that is just really, excuse me, I'm so sorry. And so I couldn't get that really neat fold of a quarter turn and a quarter turn. And I think as a result, my top stitching doesn't look very neat. And then it also just kind of gives it, to me, a very homemade look. I don't like the job that I did on the top stitch, and I don't like the fold that I got. And then I'm almost embarrassed to show you the bottom because, again, let me try and show this to you. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. See the bottom buttons here? Now, I don't know if you got a good look at that, but it almost looks like the buttons are not lined up properly, like I need to lower a buttonhole, but that's really not the case. The button holes and the buttons are fine. It's just that it's off grain. So when I fold it, it's off grain, I guess. That's the easiest way to explain it. And the hem, again, is a 1/4 inch with a 1/4 inch. And because it's so small and I didn't do a good job top stitching, it kind of gave this lettuce, kind of feel to it. It wants to curl a little bit. And I'll try and put some video up. And you can see the front, it looks really bad. Looks really bad. So, yeah, time to move on from this fabric, from this pattern. Maybe I will try it again with like a poplin or something, but oh, what a waste of money. Oh, I'm going to try and do something and try and save this, but again, let's put a pin in it. Not literally a pin, meaning like let's pin it, let's shelve it. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's shelve it for when I'm in a better frame of mind. Now, when I was making this, I thought, oh, I have some navy ponte that would look great with this. I can make a pair of ponte pants. Those actually turned out pretty good. Better than I had anticipated. Let me show them to you. This is the Style Art Ponte that I got. The only thing that, it's not a fail, so to speak, but the elastic, as you can see, is really big. I'm going to have to unpick the serging there to open it up and probably remove, I would think, a good inch of the elastic, maybe more, because right now I feel like the pants are being held up by the tightness that the ponte, the ponte, like the stretch pants, it's being held up more at my hips, but not at my waist. I mean, it's super comfortable because it's so big, but I think that eventually I'm going to have to take an inch of elastic out so that they will be held up more by my waist versus by my hip. And while I was at it, I thought, oh, I'm making these navy ponte pants. I wanted to make this vest, View B. And I had this kind of wool boucle fabric that's been in my stash for a couple of years. Never knew what to do with it. And I thought this would go really well. Because can you see the blue in it? There's blue, green, orange, and then a white. And I thought the navy would go really well with this. And I like the idea of making this sweater vest out of something other than a sweater knit or a cable knit. I just like the idea. I mean, I really like this fabric. I think it's just very unique and can give this its own special look. But because this should have been made out of stretch, okay? You can see on the pattern, you need a good 25% stretch. And they do suggest for stretch knits only, interlock jersey, rib knit, modal, bamboo, sweater knit, ponte, double knit. Nowhere in it does it say a wool or a boucle. So I had went ahead and I made this before out of a merino wool, kind of stretchy merino wool. And I made a size large. So your medium is a 16, your medium is a size 14-16, and your large is an 18-20. So 14-16, 18-20. The perfect size for me would be the 16-18, which is the large size of the medium and the small size of the large. So what I should have done was started with a 16 at the shoulder and then blended to an 18 as I went down to the hips. But I decided to make a size 18 from shoulder to hip because there isn't a lot of stretch in this. And my fear was that it would be really tight because it's more of a woven. I mean, there's give in the fabric, but not really necessarily stretch. So anyhow, I sewed it up. It was a nice fun sew, but as I'm working with it, I just kind of got that feeling that, this may not work. And I don't want to say it doesn't work, but I think I need to make some adjustments because the way it is right now, it is super boxy. I feel like I am wearing a poncho when I'm wearing this. Certainly does not do anything for my figure. I don't think it is that attractive. And I think that what I need to do is take it in at the sleeves. And again, this is another job of really doing some adjustments. It's not just a quick adjustment, but take it in at the sleeves a good inch. Maybe add some waist shaping at the waist to bring it in to make it look a little bit more feminine. And then I think that I will like it. So there you have it. 4 makes and 4 kind of fails. Normally I would be devastated. I would be very depressed. I would start doubting myself. But for some reason, I'm not. I'm just ready to move on. I'm just done. I want to move on. I want to make something for spring that has a lot more color, a lot more flowy and lightness to it. I want to try some spring patterns. And so one of the things I thought I would try, because I mentioned in a video, a couple videos back, that I wanted to make the Geneva and the Nepheline blouse. And I feel that I made the Geneva blouse with the wrong fabric. I made it twice. Once I think actually the one that out of the blue chambray, on hindsight, I actually think I like that more than the crepe de chine, even though it's more of a shirt and I was hoping for more of a blouse. But I think I chose the wrong fabric with that. With my vest, my Simplicity pullover vest, again, I think I just didn't use the right fabric. So I started thinking, and this is how my brain works. I don't know why, it just does. Carol, you have a tendency to choose the wrong fabric, with your patterns. And of course, as sewists, we can choose whatever fabric we want to make with whatever pattern we want. But I think there is some logic and maybe some rationale behind some of the fabric recommendations. So what I decided to do is look at the Nepheline blouse and look at the fabric recommendations that the pattern had. Because in looking at the pictures of it, I thought, oh, it looks like it's made out of a linen. But surprisingly enough, when I read the fabric recommendations, they said very lightweight fabric. They said lightweight fabric, 2 to 4 ounces, and they recommended something like a batiste, a crepe de chine, a georgette, a what else did I have? Oh, a voile, and then a cotton lawn. So my little mind said, let's go ahead and make this shirt, the Nepheline, in every single fabric that they recommend and look at the difference, see if it works, see if, because I would have made this in a linen. Now, it would have been a lightweight linen. It would have been a 3-ounce linen, but I'm curious to see what it would look like. Now, there are 2 different views. One has lace, kind of a ruffle around the collar. The other one is more of a button-up, and it has like a collar stand. So even though I'm going to be making this a couple of times, it's going to be made out of different fabrics, and it will be made kind of 2 different styles. So I'm hoping that it doesn't look like I'm just, making the same pattern over and over, which I guess really it is. But again, I want to try this experiment to see what it looks like when I use the recommendations, the fabric recommendations on the patterns. So the first one they called for was a batiste. And the batiste I found, this is from Britex Fabrics, was this beautiful, lightweight ivory eyelet. Let me show. Here we go. Look at this. I think this is just a gorgeous fabric. It is a cotton batiste. It's a very fine weave. I think it's going to make a beautiful nepheline blouse. And what I like about this is I feel this is truly an ivory eyelet. Because you might have said, hey, Carol, you've shown us this before. And it's like, no, I didn't. This is what I showed you before. It's still a beautiful eyelet, but I don't consider this ivory. When it arrived, and that's how they had it on their website, you know, a beautiful ivory eyelet. And when it arrived, I thought, that's not ivory. There's too much brown in it. That's more like an ecru. And when you put the two together, I think you can really see the difference in the color of the fabric. And again, it's such a shame that I can't, first of all, I'm not articulate enough or to tell you, to really describe how it feels. And being video, there is no feel-o-vision or something, but this I think is just an absolute beautiful fabric that will make the nepheline. This one will be the ruffle blouse. Okay, fabric number 2, and I was a little hesitant on this because it is a crepe de chine. And again, I'm going to have to be really careful with this because of that foldy issue. But here is a crepe de chine with little daisies on it. It has a white background with some white daisies and then very light, very subtle little spots of red and yellow, and then some green leaves. And again, this is a nice silk crepe de chine. And as I was looking at this when it arrived, I thought, hey, you know what? I have this linen that I bought from an online fabric store. It's their signature linen. I think I've got a winner here. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, huh? So this, I'm pretty sure, is going to be some sort of a pant. It's going to be an elastic waist drawstring type pant that will go with this really nice crepe de chine nepheline blouse. I think this will be the ruffle one too, because I think doing the collar stand with the way I have a hard time having it hold its structure when I want to iron and, you know, the little fine pressing seams. I just think I would do better with the ruffles versus the collar stand. Okay, the next two are really lightweight fabrics. One is a cotton voile. So I found this, and this is just, I showed it to my manager and she loved it. And I actually do too, although it's super sheer. Look at this. I can see you. But this is a really nice silk cotton mix or blend in a nice cotton voile. And I love the pink. I'm not sure what I will make to go with this. I'm thinking maybe something in a pink. But this will definitely be the collar stand version of the nepheline blouse. And this is a cotton voile. Then the next one, they suggested a silk georgette. And I was really surprised because remember the black and white polka dot, or the black polka dot skirt that I made out of silk georgette? I don't know what it is with me and georgette and polka dots, but I decided to try this, and I love this silk georgette. It has a nice peach or salmon background with some sort of greenish turquoise, blue, black, red polka dots, and these little gold sparkles on it. And I gotta say, I absolutely adore this fabric. I think it is just gorgeous. Part of me doesn't want to use it for the nepheline blouse. Part of me wants to make a dress or another skirt out of it. But I am curious to do this experiment and to see how these turn out using the recommended fabrics. So this will be a nepheline. Don't know if it'll be, I think it'll probably be a ruffle one versus a, collar stand. And And then the last one, they did say a cotton lawn, and the instructions mentioned that it would be a little bit different structure. It would have a different structure if you used a cotton lawn. So I did get a Liberty lawn. I thought it would be brighter than it is. I think this has more of a fall hue to it. But it has green, orange, blue, super, super silky soft. And you know, now that I think about it, I think it goes very well with this green linen as well. So there you have it. 4 kind of fails for the last part of winter, but 5 hopefuls for the beginning of spring. Let me know in the comments what you guys are working on, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.